We're back live from CES 2020, coming to you from the Sands Expo, otherwise known as Tech West. I'm Jason Hiner, and next to me is Bill Detwiler, who is about to crack open a Samsung TV. And also here for color commentary, we've dragged in CNET's TV legend, guru, analyst,
please, Jason,
David Katzmaier. David, thanks for being with us.
Yeah, so we've never done a television at CES. We've done all kinds of things, right? We've done the Apple Pencil, we've done a BB-8 from Sphero, we've done all kinds of things, but we've never done anything this big.
Yeah.
And so we figured that would be a lot of fun to take it apart and to see the tech inside of a TV, since not many people want to crack open the brand new TV they just bought. Now, a little bit of forewarning, we're doing this a little live. I have tried to pre-cook a little of this by loosening the back panel, but what you're going to see is we haven't seen before. So we're going to rely on Katz here to help us dissect a lot of the technology that's inside this.
And we did crack open, so Bill's been doing cracking open. While you do that, I'll add a little bit of commentary. You did crack open a Samsung TV about 8 years ago.
We did.
Because you've been cracking things open on Tech Republic since 2006, starting back with, I remember the Xbox 360 and the first iPad, one of the first iPod minis.
There we go.
And so when you cracked this open back in 2012 or so, when you cracked open a Samsung TV, it was one little small motherboard in here. And what we see here is a lot more than that.
Yeah, there's a lot more tech in these TVs than there were in the past. In this TV, on the overhead camera, I hope they're able to show, we've got the power board over here, so the power cord comes in here, and you've got all the circuitry required to that. And then you have all the signal processors. We're going to lift this up a little bit and show everybody out in the audience, too. So this is upside down. The speakers are here. The power board is over here. I'm not going to touch any of that stuff really sort of purposefully. It has never been powered on, so it's not going to shock us. But you won't always want to be careful with power circuitry. And then the main circuit board for all the signal processing, the smart technology, if it's got embedded streaming services, those are all going to come out of the chips on that. So we're going to try and remove that, remove this, and actually maybe even get to some of the LEDs that help light this thing up.
Yeah, this is a QLED TV. It's got edge-lit local dimming around the back. It might actually have a full array. We'll see what's going on back here. But the QLED is interesting, too, because this is a QLED TV. It's actually a pretty high-end 43-inch TV. We looked it up. It's about $600. So this TV uses Samsung's quantum dot technology. So on the LCD module itself, which I think Bill's going to probably drill all the way down to see. That's the thing that produces the picture. There's going to be a quantum dot film on there. I don't know, we're not going to be able to see it. They're really tiny, but it's something else that's pretty cool about the inside of this TV. Right here, look at this. We got our speakers. These are downward firing speakers. Straight down the bottom here, you can tell you got a little driver here.
Yeah.
That, again, these things are not on the side. They're straight down, and they take advantage of the way the cabinet kind of curves down here.
Very good. So, Katz, you mentioned this is about a $600 43-inch TV, which is pretty expensive. I think we got this before we came to CES on a holiday special, under $500. But most of the time, they're not that inexpensive. This is a good example of, because you do advice on buying TVs every day, this is not a product you would necessarily recommend people to buy.
A lot of times with the smaller screen size, and again, today 43 is pretty small TV. They're not going to have as good of an image quality as the larger ones starting around 55-inch and up. That's where the manufacturers put their very best technology into it. Samsung's Q60 line here doesn't have the full array local dimming, backlight control that its better TVs like the Q70 that I like this year have. So at the end of the day, this TV is relatively expensive for the screen size. I'd recommend a step-down model like the TCL. It's about half the price. Again, the picture quality is not going to be that much worse. Again, unless you really want to spend that extra money at this screen size, it's probably not the best value.
And tell the audience what the local dimming and those high-end features, what do they do for you on like this 43 versus like a 55?
Right, so on those other TVs, you can change the backlight across the screen. You increase your contrast depending on what the screen content is. So that full array local dimming is actually the best picture quality improvement available on these TVs today. This one does not have that, but the backlight, again, we'll see what kind of controls there are in here if we can see any. This has a standard backlight that doesn't have that sort of, customized look depending on what's on the screen.
Okay, so Bill, tell us where you're at here.
Yeah, so we've got the back off, obviously, and now I'm trying to take this plate, this probably EMI shielding, off of the main circuit board. Now the problem is these things really aren't made to be taken apart, disassembled by your average consumer.
Can I use the heat gun?
We might be ready for the
Can I use
heat gun just in a minute. I'm not sure, but we might be there. I'll let
put
you
it down
know.
for now. All right.
Well, we might do that when we heat the film too. So what I'm going to try to do though, so this has plastic tabs in it, just pop tabs, and there isn't really a way for me to get these off without actually probably cutting the tabs or breaking them, which is fine. I'm going to do that. But it's going to take me just a second to pop these off here so we can see the chips underneath, because that's what I really want to do.
Yeah.
Let you and Katz take a look at that while we keep taking this apart. Look for the LEDs, look for those panels.
It's a good point, because when you take these things apart, Bill, you're usually taking them apart to put them so that you can put them back together. Yeah. I'd say over the years, 99% of the things you've taken apart, you've put back together in working order, because part of the reason you do it on Tech Republic is to help people who are interested in technology to learn about the technology and also to be able to repair the technology, not just to better understand it. We do it so that the audience can better understand it and so that they can, if they have to repair something in their own device, they can do it themselves. So, one of the things, you've talked about over the years, as we've done on the CNET stage and as you've written stories about this, is one of the things you need is a lot of patience in these things. So,
so you can see this is being really kind of annoying.
Yeah.
It's a little plastic piece that I'm trying to push back through there. I'll probably just in the essence of time, cut it and break it, but that's fine. It won't hurt. It wouldn't hurt the TV.
It's a rare thing that you're going to do here, but for the purposes of learning about this, we want to see what's under there. We want to see what chips are in there.
We do.
We should expect to see probably a Samsung processor under there, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And a lot of these things, they're all in the same integrated circuit these days. It's the most efficient way to make it. I'm really curious to see how many chips you're going to see under here, but I'm guessing it's one or two maybe. There's a lot of HDMI ports you can see. Maybe Bill's got it under his hand there, but there's 4 HDMI on this thing, and all the signals for the video come in straight to that board, and then they get the processing going on. Right. And of course, there's a lot of processing in these TVs. There's a lot of smart TV functionality for streaming and things like that, but there's also a lot of picture processing going on. So here we're going to see what we got.
So there we go. I'm going to set this here so we can kind of see with the overhead camera. Yeah. So you can see the main processor here. You can see a variety of other chips. It's really hard to see what they are, but more than likely you'd have you'll have the DSP, or the digital signal processor. You'll have a wireless chip in there as well. I don't know if we can see them really close. Let me see if I can take this off. There's some thermal paste on here, so this little goop helps keep the processor cool. It helps transfer the heat from that out toward the EMI shield.
So it was using this thing with that paste. It was attached to this, and it was using this thing to help dissipate some of the heat off of that
Your eyes might be better than mine. I can't read what that is. That's why we usually use little magnifying glasses and microscopes to see what they are.
And we should probably assume that's a Samsung-branded semiconductor, since they are
one of the few companies that basically does their whole vertical integration, from soup to nuts, including the panel, obviously made by Samsung Display. Actually, they do outsource a lot of the panel stuff. Let's see it's really hard to see here. I don't think it's clearly labeled at all. There's a SanDisk I see. That's got to be memory.
A little bit of storage or memory on there.
No, I can't see how many gigs it says, but.
And interesting enough, Bill, you did get this off to the point that you could probably put this back on.
Oh, yeah, I can put it back on,
good
no
job.
problems. Now I'm going to take off the speakers. They just sort of pop off.
Great.
It's interesting with the speakers. They have these little rubber mounts that help dampen vibration. Mm-hmm. Last thing you want is a fuzzy screen. There's also a lot of these little thin, flexible cables that are on the TV that we're going to try and remove.
Yeah, one of the interesting things about speakers in TVs is they notoriously sound like crap. So one of the issues with TV speakers is that everybody wants a TV with nothing around the edge. They don't want anything facing forward. They don't want any forward-firing big speakers on the side. Sony tried that a couple years ago. You know, people complained about it. So this is a downward-firing speaker, which means it's not ideal for the sound to come at you in the room. These things are pointing straight down, and so most of the sound is going to be bounced off the floor, off the walls, whatever you got there, your cabinet, and it's not going to have that ideal direct radiation right into the audience. Now there are some TVs that do have more forward-firing speakers. Sony's been talking about that this year at CES. They actually showed me their modules that are 2 or 3 times as large as these.
Interesting.
And I heard the demo of that in the room, and I was actually playing with these larger modules, and it sounds a lot better.
Wow.
Between the large size, which obviously increases your bass, and the forward-firing nature of the speakers, you got really good sound. Most of these TVs, a TV at this price point, put a sound bar on it, forget about it. Especially if you spend $600, spend another $100 on a good sound bar. It's totally worth it.
Yeah.
But with another higher-end TV, sometimes they have better sound.
And so we've also removed the
I can hold
power
that up.
board too, so be careful with that one. I don't just shock yourself.
Hold that up there.
And there's a little bit of insulation because, again, this is the power board, so the contacts don't need to touch the metal on the actual display. And if you look at the TV, so that's kind of it. That's the tech inside the TV. There's the main circuit board, the power board, and then the rest of it is just the display, right?
Yeah.
So it's just the screen. So they're also a lot lighter than they used to be. Otherwise, I wouldn't be able to flip this around. So what we're going to try and do is remove the front bezel and see if I can't find the LEDs that are actually on this TV.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
See what we can do
Actually,
here.
Katz, could you hand me that one? I'll hold up both
Which
of
one
the,
do you want? You want
the
the
other board
panel?
there.
Okay, here you go.
So again, when we cracked one of these open, a Samsung TV about 8 years ago, there was one board, and it was
See how it's
about
put together.
the size of a quarter of this. So I'll hold up both of these so you all can see that. So there's
You just want to
there's
use
a lot
the
more
heat gun.
technology than there used to be.
All right, let me see here. There's a metal strip at the bottom of this. It pops loose, it looks like.
This looks like a controller. We see some more circuitry here. This is probably what
Yeah.
controls the backlight, controls the LEDs. It might be control to the speakers, although no, those came off of the main thing, so that's my guess. And of course, the LCD itself needs control. All those 4K pixels need to be controlled individually to create the picture.
Well, that came loose. Well, unfortunately, we have our first bit of damage, but that's okay. This is for entertainment. This is for science. One of the little cable connectors came loose. That's not something that I could fix, but this bar. So if you were doing it on your TV, it's probably sending it back to the manufacturer, buying a new TV, honestly, because this is for the controller for the LCD panels that are on
this kind
here.
of activity probably not covered by warranty.
Not covered by warranty.
Maybe we're violating
Although
some.
I've tried it a few times, but
I'm not
no,
a warranty
I
expert,
don't. I don't actually encourage people to do this unless you know it's already broken.
Right.
If
Okay,
you
there
know
you go.
something's already broken, if you feel confident, then go for it, right? So you can see these are the little controllers for each of the panels in here, or each side of the panel. We're dropping things all over the pit place. And then what we're going to see is if I can get this bezel off the front, and we can kind of see the. Let me see here. Then I think we could see the LEDs under here.
All right, we're so captivated trying to see what's going to be under here. Like Kat said, it's going to be interesting to take a look at these LEDs that do this, because this is one of the things we don't normally get a sense of. So it's very interesting. As we said, these TVs have a lot more technology in them than they ever have
feel it over
before.
here.
They are a lot smarter.
Yep.
Remember that these things are not only powering all the backlights, there's all those chips down there, but because they're smart TVs, they need storage, they need software. There is a whole software stack that runs in these things now. So you've got, on this TV, Samsung has its own proprietary software that it's running. That this is a TV that can run as I recall, this can run that is one of the few TVs that can run the Apple TV app.
Yeah, they were first to launch with Apple TV app last year at CES 2019, and Samsung got that. And then, of course, throughout the remainder of 2019, other manufacturers came on and added the Apple TV app. So that was a big announcement for them last year. But Samsung has their own proprietary smart TV system. Tizen, they built it up, themselves. They're proud of it. There's a lot going on with that system, but there's also a lot going on to control the TV itself,
Yeah.
They have, again, the backlight control, the color control, the OSD of the TV itself. Oh, we're going to get to the module here. Let's see.
Yeah, we're going to tilt this up a little
Yeah,
bit.
this is cool.
If we
You
just
wanna pop this off?
Pop that off
It's a little
like
cracked
that.
right here, Bill.
That's fine.
All right.
I think this like I said, this is for science.
All right, yeah, we're just going to
The
rip it right
bezel's
off.
going completely
Yep.
down on
All
this
right,
one.
Yep.
There it goes.
Oof. Wow. All right.
Hey, we didn't set anything on fire this year. That's good.
Not yet.
Not yet.
That's right.
The day's young.
All right, so we took the bezel off from around the
pull the rest of
display,
this.
and we can actually, I think, Cats,
Got it?
if you want to lift that up, I don't want you to
And
be real careful. We're going to set it back down again.
pull that off.
Get this out of here.
So Samsung, in a different, we're talking about software. Of course, there's a lot of other software on this
And
that's
then I
stored in
think-
this. YouTube,
Be careful with the glass.
Hulu, and a lot of other pieces of software powered by this as well.
Let's see what we got here. So this looks like
That's the LED
this
panel.
this is the LED backplane. I don't know if you can see it here, but you can actually. I'm pretty sure those are individual
Yep.
LEDs along the edge here.
If
They're
you-
on the side, right?
If you tilt it like, let me see here. I don't know if we can get it through, but if you tilt it just right.
I've been reviewing TVs for 20 years, and I've never done any of this. I've never
Yeah.
gone inside one of these things. I honestly don't know how these LEDs are embedded or what exactly is going on here. I actually expected more like little light bulbs kind of thing, not
Okay.
kind of sunk into this substrate like we have
Yeah.
here.
Here.
So
Pop this off.
is it white because it's bouncing the light off of
Yeah,
that, and
so
then it's pushing it up?
What you want to do with any of these TVs is maintain efficiency, and that means capturing as much light as possible, projecting it out through the LCD module, which is buried under here at this
Which
point.
we're going
We'll
to
get
show
to
you that in a minute. So you can see the LED strip.
Yep. Oh,
Down
that's
there
what
at
it
the
is.
bottom.
Okay, so this is not the LEDs are actually here on the bottom and the
If
top.
Yeah.
Are they
well,
on the top or just
let me
the
see.
bottom?
Set her down, and then we can pull. I think we can pull this off.
Yep, you got it.
Maybe. All right, it's caught.
So LEDs have
here we
been,
go.
a big breakthrough from LCD. Just LEDs, as everyone knows, I think is familiar.
Right.
They use a lot less power. They put out a lot more light, and they are a
here we
lot
go.
more flexible in the color of the light that you can use.
All right,
Be
so I
careful
think we
with
found
the
some
glass.
LEDs, though.
Yes, and if we tilt it forward enough, I think this panel will come off a little bit and separate in our hand, maybe. Yep. And
Wow.
if you see the LED strip at the bottom.
Okay, so there's a strip you can
this is a
on the
piece
very
of-
bottom of this.
Clear plastic,
There you go.
and then a white backing there to help reflect the light up.
Yep. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but right here we do have the actual LEDs along the bottom here.
Why don't we
There's
turn
a
it around?
handful of
Why don't
them.
we flip it? Put
Yeah.
this at the
Here, go
top
for it.
so we can see it.
So if you see, Cass, you want to do the pointing?
Yep. Right here, along the bottom here, these are individual LEDs. This is the whole source of illumination on these TVs.
Yep.
And they are the thing that creates the light. And then, of course, that light gets bounced around and shines through the LCD module, which
is,
that's,
we'll move
speaking
this
of.
enough, and we'll be careful not to hurt ourselves on this.
So LCDs are basically a sandwich of
So
all
you
these
have
materials.
all these different layers here.
I know there's diffusion layers. I'm not going to speculate on which one's which. There's light guides. There's ways that they're kind of focusing the light from that bottom strip of LEDs. And then revealed finally is the actual liquid crystal module.
All right.
This is the actual liquid crystal
Yeah,
part
this
of the LCD.
absolutely. This is the thing that if you were to just run power to it right now, there'd be a picture on here. And, it'd have to be illuminated by light, but, there is something there, and that's what creates the image on these TVs. Remember, 4K resolution, 3860 by 2140 resolution on here, and, that's 8 million plus pixels, and it's all contained in this thing.
Now, how is that technology different from the OLED technology, right? So these are basically LCDs illuminated by a strip of LED lights. With OLED, that's not the case.
No, so OLED TVs, which by the way, Bill, would be a lot less dramatic if you pulled it apart because it's really thin. It's just the glass and the OLED module. Those use direct lighting. So each of the pixels, the 4K pixels in an OLED TV is its own illumination.
Okay.
And it's direct lighting. They just shine right through. There's no backlight involved. There's no LED strip lighting involved or liquid crystal module. Nothing to shine through. A much smaller stack. And that is why the picture quality is so good because there's no diffraction. The viewing angle is much better on OLED. And of course, the pixels can each turn off individually, which creates that contrast and black level.
It's a much
like
simpler
you were saying,
process.
Instead of just this one little strip that runs along the bottom, every pixel is putting out light, its own light. It's not just using this little strip to illuminate up the entire display.
And it's amazing actually that this little strip illuminating straight up from the bottom can magically make the entire picture look relatively similar illumination. Yeah, LCDs do have uniformity issues where some parts of the screen will be brighter at some points, but generally that little strip along the bottom is all you need to create this bright image, and the TVs themselves are pretty bright given that and very efficient. So that's the key, is this efficiency of the LEDs, not just the slim form factor, the way that they can create a really bright image. We talked about the higher end LCDs before, LED TVs, they have a backlight behind the entire thing.
Yeah.
So they're, again, illuminating everything coming through this stack and creating a picture that's a lot brighter. So that's the big difference between this TV and step-up TVs with the full array local dimming. This is a little bit dimmer, but those TVs can get really, really bright.
So there's a lot of complicated stuff that this thing has to do to create a really great picture. Maybe next year at CES, we can crack open an OLED and take a look at all those individual
Spend
pixels.
a little more.
The price needs to
$600
come down a little bit. I'm not necessarily sure we're up for footing the budget on that one, but maybe we'll see.
$400, $2,000,
$2,000, and this one's probably unfortunately
very
toast.
good. Good work, you
but
guys.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to see what's in these sort of everyday devices, and I think that's one of the things for us that we like to see at CES every year is sort of the devices that we use every day get smarter and smarter. There's more tech crammed into them. TVs, smart home devices, they're all getting more technology. As technology gets smaller, as battery life gets better, you can do more, and it becomes ambient. Technology is just in the devices that we use every day all around us. It's ambient technology.
Very good. All right, you ready to crack something else?
Yeah, so we actually brought one more kind of cool thing to try if we had time, and Jason's got it right here. So this
maybe
is
the exact opposite of a TV, a small thing.
This is a Rismo. Now, Bridget Carey did this earlier in the year in September. This was kind of a hot toy this Christmas. It's a toy that evolves as as kids, and they expect their toys to change over time. They're used to video games. They're used to games where they can download new skins. They can buy new, they can buy new cosmetics. They can get new weapons. So increasingly, toy manufacturers that make physical toys are having to incorporate that type of technology into them. And this is one of those kind of devices that it actually sort of adapts and changes its shape as you interact with it. And so what we thought is, I'm sorry, Rismo, it would be kind of fun to do a little bit of an autopsy and see what it really looks like on the inside.
All right,
so
let's do it.
Let's get started here. So normally you would I'm also going to say, so like this toy, it has some moving parts. It looks like a little fuzzy ball right now, but it actually has these parts that come out. Now you're specifically told not to do what I'm doing. Doing this can break the motors, can break the servos.
It's supposed to be part of the natural evolution of this
thing, right?
That's right.
But as a kid, I was always the kid that I'm immediately going to get this thing and start going, ooh, let's push this down. Okay. So we're going to actually kind of move this. We're going to try to remove this and see what it looks like inside. First thing we're going to have to do, again, I'm sorry, we have our makeshift scalpel here.
Gotta
we're
cut it
gonna
open.
cut the casing off of the Rismo here.
This is like one of those things in the Alien movies where you like cut open one and then all the whole fleet comes for you. So you know.
I just keep seeing Gizmo from Gremlins.
Yeah.
In the whatnot.
Yeah, don't put this thing in water.
Yeah,
Exactly.
don't feed it after midnight. Don't get it near water.
Don't feed it after midnight. You just got to
scary.
pick the right time zone, I guess, to feed it in.
So we're going to cut this off here, and then let's see what we can do. It's still going to make noises.
That was a chirp of.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't think
Do my best here to cut the. This one we did not pre-cook at all. We decided we would sort of do it live to give everybody that kind of experience that we have. A lot of the times when we take these devices apart, you know, we're very sort of slow, we're methodical.
Yeah.
Like Jason said, I don't do this to destroy devices. I don't like doing that. It does pain me to have the TV that's probably, well, it's not going back together. Who am I kidding?
A few years ago at CES, we did another toy, and we had to use with the BB-8 Sphero device, and we had to use a Dremel to cut that thing in half. Oh boy, the audience was not happy about us cutting up BB-8.
Poor BB-8, man.
Yeah.
Maybe they like him better than the.
Yeah, there hasn't been the same
Rismo
reaction
here.
to
No one cares
Rismo
about the
as there
Rismo.
was to BB-8.
Well, you know, it's the fact that we've all had to deal with so many of these motorized toys. It's a little bit of revenge. Ooh.
And again, we do some of these to see that the fact that a lot of these devices, even toys, and this is a fairly, if I remember, reasonably priced under $100 kind of toy, maybe even under $50.
I think it's $30. I think
$30,
$30, something like
but
that.
seeing how much technology and the chips there are in some of these things is really interesting, and it does get to the fact that the technology revolution is touching more and more parts of the world.
Yeah.
So we can see our first look inside
it's toast.
Rismo here, this hard plastic shell.
It's still
it's a kitty.
talking.
It's a
Okay,
kitty.
now it's meowing at me. That makes me
no.
feel even worse. Oh no. Let's see what we can do here. So you can kind of see some of the plastic parts. This part was designed to be a tail to pop up, and it looks like it has these kind of little plastic parts that move. Here are the feet.
I don't know, Katz. We might need the heat gun.
We might have to bring the heat gun out
I
here.
got to say, I encourage my children to watch the videos. That
Maybe
I
not
make
this
at
one?
No.
No.
They're not going to see this one. This would ruin a lot of toys around
A lot
the
of
house.
toys for them.
Either that, or would encourage them to go find my razors.
That's right. Yeah,
right.
Be
Break it out.
unsafe. No, we want the kids to be
This
safe.
video will be banned in the Katzmaier household.
Yeah. No.
All right, so here we have a de-skinned Rismo or something like that.
I think you activated Rockstar mode there.
Yeah, I don't know. Everybody can kind of see that.
And
That's
look,
kind of creepy
it was
looking.
like this, but you can also see like how it unfolds.
Oh, that's
It
cute.
doubles
Unfolds.
as a hand puppet
Yeah.
as
Oh, no.
well.
It's
There
now,
you
it's
go.
now a hand puppet.
Not
That's okay.
intended use there.
I might
but-
take this with me. It's a little.
Rismo lives.
Rismo,
lives.
it's still going.
I think
There you
Rismo
go.
might be happier as a hand puppet
might
than
be.
as a little robot device.
Rismo's,
It's very expressive.
making his ascension.
Yeah, maybe he's going to help disembody his own robot interior.
That's
You
right.
Give him a heat gun. You think he'll be able to work it? I don't know.
You never know. I
There's
mean,
only one way to find out, Jason.
That's right. Let's do it.
So I'm gonna try to pop off some of the plastic so that we can see the actual circuits that are inside of this thing. They're more than likely through the bottom here. Jason, I'm gonna grab one of the screwdrivers. We've used a variety of tools over the years to actually crack things open. And so we used to have to find them, on the internet or that order them specialty. But now the maker community and the sort of the DIY repair community, they're much easier to find nowadays. It's also easier to find information online about how to fix your own gadgets.
There's a great
Batteries included.
Batteries definitely included in this one.
There's a great picture. Okay. There's a great picture on the internet of when Bill cracked open the first iPad. And in it, this was before we had these great tools. So there's a spatula and a butter knife and all kinds of things just sticking in the sides where we were trying to pop free the screen from the back. So that's probably our most famous, most viral cracking open photo. Although, actually, we also cracked open the very first iPhone in 2007. And that photo, this was before these teardowns were really popular. And that photo actually got picked up by Time magazine and was used at the time when people used to actually buy magazines back then. And so that was used and popularized from that. So cracking open on Tech Republic has a really great history. And now the cracking open stories and the galleries of photos published on Tech Republic, and then the videos for cracking open published on CNET. So it's been a really good partnership.
Channel,
yeah, especially on the YouTube channel.
So Bill, you're trying to get to the servos here?
I'm trying to get to, so what we've been able to do is we've been able to take the two bottom parts off here. And what you find with toys, I often find with kids' toys like this, they're often pretty rugged. I mean, they're designed to be kind of thrown around and dropped. So where you saw in there, the plastic was kind of flimsy. We could bend it, we could take it off. This is pretty heavy-duty stuff. And so that's because, kids are going to drop these things and they're going to be rough with them, and manufacturers don't want them to break. So the first time you drop it.
This Rismo's still fully functional, right? You haven't really broken anything.
I haven't really broken anything, I don't think. But we're probably going to get there to the part where I will.
See.
So it does have several sort of sensors in it. I want the eyes light up. I'd like to see the circuit board. There's a circuit board. Looks like a speaker in there.
I see a circuit board peeking out under there.
So we're going to see if we can't poke that out. Yeah, well, I suspect the brain is not up here in the head, and it's down in the body.
Oh, okay.
It would be safer to put it in the body.
Oh.
Let's see if this can come out this way. No, it's not going to come out that way. I'm not going to be able to pop that loose. It's probably servo-driven that actually makes this pop and go up and down.
There's some other toys. One of the toys you cracked open for CNET magazine a few years ago.
Oh, we've cracked open all kinds of things. We did the Sphero. We did we've done the Snapchat goggles, glasses. We did those.
Connected soccer ball.
The Adidas connected soccer ball. That was really popular. That was a lot of fun. We've done all kinds of devices here.
There's that circuit board.
Yeah, so I'm going to take it off from the back here. See if I can't get this to pop loose.
Very good. We're on a race against time.
We're kind of rushing here, so I can get it as far along as I'm
just impressed that you're not even using a power drill, just going in there with the hand thing and taking it right apart.
Let's see.
And you still haven't deployed the heat gun, so just want to let you know it's
I still haven't deployed the heat gun.
With the heat gun.
Let me see what we can do with this. Let's see if we can make the screw go out more.
Okay.
That's not going to help. Let me see if I can.
Oh, here it goes.
Let me see if I can do this.
The cracking open right here.
When we say cracking open.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to be a little rough with it.
It's not that tough.
Oh.
Things thrown in the audience.
This is like a first. First time I've ever seen Bill force one open.
I usually don't do this. I really don't. But we're running low on time.
So
you can.
About that?
Probably not very good.
He doesn't want to see this.
No, okay.
He doesn't want to watch this.
I had to give him nightmares.
So here we can actually see the servos now. Cool. So you can see the motors here, over here, and over here that run the gears for the various flaps and the little spring-loaded sort of ears here and things like that. You can also start to see the circuit board.
There's a bunch of little
inside.
Circuit boards.
Yeah, there's a bunch of little circuit boards down in there. I don't know if I want to say
there's at least 6 circuit boards in this, which is pretty amazing when you think about a $30 toy. Again, it talks about how far the tech revolution has come to where these things are so
are those long screws?
they
Inexpensive.
are.
You can put them in a lot of different places.
It's like plastic. Yeah, so you can clearly tell this was not meant to be taken apart. The plastic is also really, really sturdy. So I'm trying to do it and not hurt myself. That's what I'm trying to do. But you can kind of see that one of the circuit boards here, and that's what I meant about the circuit board's probably not going to be in the head or the brain.
Right.
It's going to be down here. So all of the circuits that are doing the motion detection, doing the signal processing, is all on this circuit board here. The speaker that the sounds play for are on this. Even their little tool, this little toy is packed with all kinds of technology, and now it just looks creepy. It kind of looks like the Rismo skeleton there.
There's the Rismo puppet. Yeah, it's not going to stand. All right, there it is, Samsung TV and Rismo toy. We've done them both. Thank you, Bill Detwiler. Thank you, David Katzmaier, for your insights as well. Yes.
Can you thank
And your
Rismo, everybody?
puppeteering.
Thank Rismo. He's
All
good.
right,
He's good.
that's all the time we have, and that's the end of our live programming for CES 2020. We hope you had as much fun watching as we did covering this show. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you in 2021. Thank you.